We will have Zephan Chan right now joining us, and Zephan is one of the director from NSCS, also the deputy president from IEH. Okay, I may not have gotten his title right, so I let Zephan speak for himself to talk to us about the pros and cons of AI. Okay, over to you, Zephan.
Okay, thank you. I think I need to go to the stage. I'm not like Party who stands around and everybody sees me. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, thanks for the introduction. I'm Zephan Chan. So, yeah, I'm the Deputy President of the Council, and on behalf of the Council, thanks for supporting us. Very familiar faces, a lot of familiar faces, because you were here, you were not here, you were at Breakfast Now Club last year, and previous year we were, where were we? Previous year conference, where were we at the last 2 years conference? Party. Yeah, though you guys remember, right? The committee. Okay, thank you. So, besides volunteering with National Safety Council, like what this morning Amir Ali told us, nobody pays us at National Safety Council, so I need a job. So I work for the IEH, which stands for Institute of Ergonomics and Hygiene. Then you might immediately, some of you will be thinking, then why should you be standing here? You're not someone who is going to be offering any form of AI solutions, or you're not close to AI, right? So I asked myself that question probably about 2.5 years ago. With AI, with all this AI coming, then what is the positioning as of IEH? What is my positioning as an ergonomist, as an occupational hygienist? So slightly more than 2.5 years ago, I started thinking, should I ignore it first? Let's see how it comes, and then adapt along the way. And I was lucky for myself, happy for myself that I didn't take that stand. I thought I need to go and get my feet into this and try to understand what is AI. Yeah. So and I decided to say, okay, since I am a human factor and ergonomics person, I study work, right? So maybe I want to look at how AI is transforming work, and that's the backbone of my presentation today. So let me try to orientate. So I asked myself, what is the definition of work? And traditional, we start with Google. If you go to Google, the meaning of work, it simply says it is an activity that involves mental and that says all, right? But it's mental and physical effort in order to achieve a purpose or a result. That's work. Somewhere below there say, oh, that is something that you do for the money, for pay employment. So that's pretty accurate. So if you want to look for definition of a word, Google is good enough. ChatGPT, maybe ChatGPT can give you a few more. So I'm going to take this presentation in the direction from the perspective of a human factor and ergonomics person, professional. When we look at work, there is two things happens when you perform work. You do a physical action, and we call it physical demand. You have cognitive action, cognitive demand, so the thinking and the body. So as ergonomists, when we go and study work, we look at what are the physical demand. Does the person need to, how much strength, where is the use of muscle, what is the awkward posture? That's what I do, right? As an ergonomist, we look at the physical demand of the job. Then, at the same time, we do look at the cognitive demand for the person to perform that work, what problem he or she needs to solve, what he needs to remember, what skills and knowledge he or she already needs to have computing, what he needs to calculate, mental calculation, or actually do judgment, making decision, vigilance. Vigilance means to stay alert on the job. Anything change, he knows what action to take. That's a cognitive process. And signal change, signal detection. So this is what, as an ergonomist and human factor person, I will do. So then I thought, earlier on, I think Brett showed us this industrial revolution. Coincidentally, I'm also going to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it in more detail. We're going to look at how work have changed. Now, what we are discussing today is on AI and how AI is going to support sustainable work development. So as I prepare for this presentation, I was thinking it's good to share a perspective how work have evolved, how work have changed, and and how work have changed to distribute between physical and cognitive demand. So let's go through this industrial revolution. Right now, we are some people will debate where got this industrial 5.0, because I think we are very familiar with industrial 4.0, but more and more people are trying to craft out this new thing called industrial 5.0, and we call it the AI collaboration, human and AI working together. And I think Brett show us, the time between Industrial Revolution 1 was 100 years, 80 years, 16 years. And yes, you were saying, yes, Zephan, it was just like 5 years or 6 years ago, we were all talking about Industrial 4.0. And all of a sudden, now I'm telling you, it's Industrial 5.0. So the time has shortened to 10 years. So consistent with my fellow presenter earlier. So let's go through this journey a little bit and to talk about how work have changed. And later on, towards the end, I will talk about the 5.0 with our current era, how AI is going to transform work. And most importantly, in our topic today is how does it imply to workplace safety and health. Now, during the Industrial 1.0, this is the time where steam power, mechanization, machines started building. Before this time, people had to use a lot of strength. Imagine just to cut something, maybe they just use basic tools. But the first industrial revolution bring about mechanization and steam power. Now, if we transform back to that time, we will be very similar to now. We will be thinking about, will I lose my job? Will it be more difficult to do? Because at that time, someone who is responsible to move rocks or cut things will be thinking, I will be losing my job soon. All these machines are coming out. Then there will be another group of people who will continue to encourage us, don't worry, with mechanization, you're likely going to produce better things and everything. So the world at that point of time will be a little bit lost, like what we are doing right now. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it pro? Is it con? And maybe people will start debating. And let's think about it. So when mechanization start coming, we think that it will reduce human muscle. Right now you got a steam engine, you got mechanization to help you do things. But actually it brought about new hazard, crushing. It never had things like entanglement. So there were the pros and cons, right? The human need slightly lesser physical demand. We have advantage to increase productivity, but the new hazards were around. Cognitive demand increases. In the past, it was simple machine. Now we need to know which part to switch on, switch off, where you need to have some troubleshooting. So there was some implication with that industrial revolution. So now on the hindsight, we knew that it solved many problems. It brings human civilization much faster, but it brought about more problems that we need to deal with. And in particular, in health and safety, machinery hazards. And actually more ergonomics. You thought we might have thought at that point of time, oh, then we use lesser muscle. No, the machines are heavy, the gears are heavy. Now technicians need to bring the gear and put it in. So there was slightly reduced of muscle use, but maybe not that much. Very soon, the world go into the second industrial revolution where we start to have even more efficient energy, electricity. We start to be, the world start to be very, very smart to design machine that can even produce smaller stuff. We realize that, hey, if we fragment work, if we divide work into small parts, line people up into an assembly line, we can actually produce much faster. So the concept of assembly line mass production come over. The world was promising. Because right now we can produce a lot, we do a lot of job. The craftsman, the person who used to have craft, he's the only one person who can build this stuff. He feels that he's losing his job. His job will be taken over by a company that employs 200 people and producing it. I will lose my livelihood to corporation. This is the era where mass corporation comes up and assembly people start. Now, occupational health and safety, a lot of these things come around this time. Why? Suddenly, massive number of people are doing the same job. Before this, do you have occupational health and safety issue? Yes, but you probably can't prove it because we're small single individual. You don't have enough number to say, oh, it's work that cause health and safety issue. But with people lining up doing the same job every day, then suddenly after 2 years, you see trends of similar musculoskeletal disorder, repetition. That is when people start to say, oh, job can cause illness. And people arise. So, and now that you bring everybody into the same place, you got indoor air quality issue. And because of mass production, a lot of things move up. The mass production in electricity actually brings the world much very, very fast, but use of chemicals and a lot of things. Now, we return back to the focus on ergonomics. It's probably going to be also monotonous work. There is a nice movie, Charlie Chaplin, called Modern Times. Because I think it's so old a movie, it's probably available on YouTube. You watch it. So Charlie Chaplin in this movie called Modern Times, actually he was a factory worker in the mass assembly line. And then in that movie, it starts to show him having musculoskeletal problem, even mental problem. It's a very interesting comedy, Now, about 60 years later, the world go into Industrial 3.0. Now, in the first and second industrial revolution, you realize that the physical demand was dealt with. There were increasing demand, but the cognitive demand was increasing. People needed to learn how to use complex machine. People needed to focus on certain tasks visually. So the physical demand was changing. The cognitive demand was changing. But in the first two industrial revolution, we can quite see that the world think that the physical demand drops. And when we come to automation, we almost thought that we will have no more musculoskeletal problem, right? No more, because the human don't even need to do repetitive tasks. So what musculoskeletal problem? Then the world tell us, you don't move also got problem. We call sedentary risk. Sit too long also got problem. Stand too long also got problem. The health and safety issue changes again. Interestingly, but of course, then we start to fight. We start to deal with problems like, prolonged sitting. Can you stand up and move? I thought 100 years ago, people were saying if I can do a job sitting down all day, it would be good. I wouldn't have muscle ache. But 100 years later, during this time, sit too long, people say, can you stand up and walk? So the cognitive demand change. people no longer need to actually solve problem with the automated, but I need to detect. I need to stay alert in the control room to make sure everything is good. I need to remember my steps. For example, if this signal sounds, I need to quickly go there, press, turn, switch on the valve, activate the emergency. As it developed, we realized that some of this we can install sensors. The sensors will automatically close the valve. As a result, in this, our health and safety issue was process safety. Massive accident happened. We thought that the world becomes safer, but with this, we start to have one catastrophic accident, mass number of fatality. Before that, maybe only fatality is like one. Every time you have an accident, maybe 1 or 2% fatal. But now, one incident, one process safety incident is all it takes to kill 40 people. So again, the health and safety issue changes the physical demand but at this we start to see this is the early days where AI actually start. What is cognitive demand? It's a how human think, right? So the automation is we have sensor to say, okay, if this product is too thick, I reject it. So we don't need human to make that decision. So this is the early day. So AI is not that new. We have already started some form of early AI in this as early as the 1960s, where computer replaced computing part of the human cognitive demand. But maybe in this time, you need a human to use programming language to program it. The computer cannot understand my natural language. You need to pre-program, you need to give it the database, you need to tell it it's if, then, else. You need to program all the condition. So the computer was not smart. So that at that time, we don't call it intelligent. We just call it, you are just a computer. Computer, you know what is computer? Computer can be a person. You stand down there, everybody come into the door, you count. Count how many. Computer is someone who who counts. But we no longer use human as computer. We use a machine as computer when we come to this era. That's computer. So this is the early day. Now, what happened in Industrial 4.0? This is quite close to us, last 5 to 8 years talking about this. We then realized that machine should talk to machine. We connect machine together. IoT, Internet of Things. We realized that because until this stage is maybe all the machine will work individually, automated, computer only work alone, right? But when the whole information network was available, computer network available, we start to have IoT. Now work start to change. We start to have ability to work remotely. We no longer need to go to not everybody need to go to the same workplace every day to perform work. So some condition of physical demand changes, but we got new problem. Now I have to, in the earlier, people were coming to me and Zephan, I got people working from home. They have musculoskeletal, the problem, it's no longer the typical table and chair because 20 of my staff, they use 20 different type of dining table, dining chair. Oh, so my ergonomics issue changed. At first, we thought this is not, they work from home is not a company liability. No, it's an employment liability, employer liability. You require them to work from home. Especially after COVID, the paradigm shift is now to say that if more and more people is accepting the fact that if I have to work from home, it's because my employer need me to work from home because in the office there is only 60% of desk space. So if everybody go to office together, nobody have a seat. So that means me working from home is an instruction from my employer. Before COVID, if I can work from home, my boss very good. I can work from home. It was seen as a benefit. It was seen as a perk. But now it's seen as a employer liability. Now, That's IoT. People can do remote work, but we also have issues. Cognitive, digital burnout. All day long, I'm looking at the screen. All day long, I'm dealing with screen. There is also a lot of stress coming from cyber security. Some of among us, I believe some of your department has changed from safety and health to health and cyber security. Why? Because our machines and system are all automated, built together, and is networked. So if someone hack into the system, the company will be at risk. Then all of a sudden, cyber security is part of safety. There's some movie or things that or people try to hack into the system and try to create a workplace safety and accident kind of thing. So we very quickly go into AI. Now, we can see how does each of these industrial revolution lead to each other. Now, in the IoT era, in Industrial 4.0, because of the explosion of many sensors, we keep talking about data analytics, data collection. A lot of data come together, and this morning, Engineer Ho shared with us with a lot of data. Then you will be information, become knowledge, become intelligent. Exactly. So what happened with the explosion of 4.0, every device were collecting data. People start thinking what to do with this data. And all of a sudden we realize that we can get some machine to collect the data themselves. The machine can learn by itself. Machine learning, even today we say deep learning. So we transform into this era called 5.0, and we start to realize that we can actually have fully robot machine working alone, but human now need to work with the machine. Now, I have tried to paint a good picture about how physical and cognitive demand has changed. When I come here, I don't have the answer so firmly. We are in this now. But I think definitely as a collaborative robot, assistive robot is reducing a bit of our stress. I think so. But this is the question. I don't know what will come along. What physical safety issue might come along. If we knew, if I have a crystal ball I look into, then I will prepare myself. I'll make lots of money. But no, it's how soon I can get this crystal ball. If someone have it, sell it to me. Cognitive demand is definitely, the AI era is tremendously trying to replace our cognitive demand, take away the need of our thinking, and that's dangerous actually. Take away the need for us to think. But that's what we are going through. We have now concern about ethnic surveillance, people watching over us, job displacement. So this slide is probably some of the things are already happening. I know I know a few programming language, but now I don't see I needing them. I use ChatGPT. I screenshot an app. I say, code it for me. The code come out. In the past, I need to code it. So, yeah, it's then suddenly this natural language processing is so strong. Then I feel like some of my learning. Then that day, yet the danger was when I tried to do some coding, it came out code. I realized I haven't tried to debug myself for a while. Maybe I might lost that. Now, if I haven't tell you, every time we go through this period, we lose something. The human lost something. But it might not be that important because we are moving to a new era, right? Nowadays, do you still need that muscle? No, I got forklift. So yes, I think we will start losing something, but cognitive. How many of you off your head can remember 6 mobile number? You can remember your mom, your dad, your spouse, but more than 3. We no longer commit something to memory. We don't see the need to. But one day I got locked out of my house. I realized My mom has my extra key. I don't have my mom's number. Right? I got to call my wife. My wife call her sister-in-law my sister because I don't have my sister's number. Then my sister call my mom to bring the key for me. Disasters. But this is a side joke. I can't remember when, many years ago, there was once I need to fill in the survey. I cannot remember my mom's number. I was quite embarrassed. But today, I can confess it to all of you. Because among you can't remember also, never mind. Okay, now, let's go into this. So use of AI in WSH. I don't need to go through so detail, but all of you might have already seen, we use it to predict accident. In the past, we were very reactive. Accident happened, we investigate. Now we can install sensor into devices and tools and machine. And accident happened, we look at it, we know what happened, what was the data log, over vibration, under stress or whatever. We are able to predict. And now to the point when you hit the thing, when you hit the abnormal, we can stop the machine. We can have safety interlock. It stops even before accident happened. That's amazing. And the difference with AI is today, it can handle and compute that information a lot of faster than before. So we have that opportunity. Is definitely in Singapore, the visual surveillance project, all construction project, 5 or 10 million above, you need to have CCTV. Now, it's not just a simple CCTV. The CCTV must be able to do this monitoring, and at the back end is the AI that checks all this and alert the safety officer when they need to. Tracking in ergonomics, what I do, we are now using more apps to look at posture. In the past, when I do a posture assessment, I need to sit down, watch, and then count. Later on, I have video camera, I can record, I can watch the video and count. Today, I can record the video, put it into a software, the system count for me. Video analytics, video analysis. But the difference between the AI right now is that this software might already be available a few years ago, but now it can be programmed a lot easier, a lot faster. I don't need to reprogram it. I just need to go to once I code it, now I can just go to my LLM again. I say, now I need a bit of improvement. It recode for me. The process is just so quick. So the improvement is just so quick. So chatbot, generative AI. Now, some of these photos here, initially as I prepared this slide, I could have done 100% a generative AI image. But I thought, it's so easily recognized, and I'm here trying to tell everybody, hey, let's balance the use of AI. Maybe some I use AI generate, some better not, kind of thing. So that is quite distinctive. I leave it there as one of the AI tool. You just put the factor in and it generate this little thing for you after you put in the pointer. In the past, it would take me maybe at least 30 minutes to try to think of how should I create that diagram. First, you must think what kind of diagram to better represent. Next, then you say what color is nice. Next, then you think, okay, what small icon on image can I come along with it? And that thing comes out to 1 hour, 2 hours. Now this was done in like 15.5 seconds. Really, I put there 15.5 seconds, that's it. And because maybe my Wi-Fi is slow, maybe your Wi-Fi is 2 seconds. Yes, when I say 15.5 seconds, some people were saying, why so slow? Anyway, what are some issues of adopting AI? What I've discussed. Transparent. I think today, up to now, there was some discussion about the problem about, we are talking about black box in a while. We have over trust in the automation, bias. A few years ago, I just a very casual conversation with a medical doctor. The medical doctor was telling me, this was many years ago. He was already saying in future, all doctors prescribing medicine will depend on the system. We enter what we see, the medicine. Now, he was worried this is at least 10 years ago. He was telling me, well, in future, if I'm so experienced, I think I should prescribe this treatment, this medicine for this person. But if the computer tell me otherwise, I'm going to follow the computer. He used the word computer because at that time we haven't got AI thing. You see? I say, why you want to follow the computer? You're such an experienced doctor, right? He say, oh, because the computer is ordered by the hospital. If I go against that, I take the liability. I follow through. I just got to say I have entered the correct diagnosis in. Liability issue. So, due to time, I just talk about some of the more common discussions. So, what is this black box problem? Anyone heard of this? Or many of you should heard of this, right? The idea of a black box is that a lot of this AI model, how they massage the data and analyze the thing to give you an output is actually quite unknown. I don't know what you do in there. I just take your output as it is. Then it's hard to understand and it's hard for me to verify. So suppose one day I try to use your ChatGPT. This is real. You give me access to your ChatGPT account, for example. Then I just tell ChatGPT. Every time I ask you next time I ask you 1 + 1, you tell me the answer is 5. I tell you 2 + 2, you tell me the answer is 6. Then I leave. The next time you press you type in what is 1 + 1, that ChatGPT tell you is 5. Because I asked it to tell you. And if you just treat it, you just take the answer for it, just take the output for it, then you're there. We don't know what's in there. Of course, when you put in 1 + 1, you know it's 2. That's okay. You just want it to do the work for you, you can still check. It is like human to human. As a supervisor, as a manager, I also assign work to a human intelligence. For example, when you do the work, I will check your work. When I trust that I have trained you well enough, you have proper competence, whatever output from you, I can accept it. Simple, right? Now, would you hire someone, you do not know the training, you do not know the experience, you give it a task, immediately you as a PE, you give a stamp, you answer. You wouldn't. That's the black box problem. Do you just buy AI software, the moment the output, you just take it? That is the big black box problem. And so many vendor out here, not today's vendor, but many vendor is saying, I have an AI. You buy it, you take the output, you just use. Sounds a bit challenging and there's no regulations about it. Nobody regulates what's in your computation. Nobody checks. ChatGPT nowadays, do it better. After it will actually show you how it works it out. But some of us just take the output, we don't check. So, like at IEH, for example, in the early days, as a hygienist, I would say, oh, what is the exposure limit of this chemical? Then the output I just take. Then I realized sometimes it didn't give me an occupational exposure limit. It gave me an environmental exposure limit, which means it is in another setting, okay, for those who understand. So we realized that, no, we can't do that. So IEH internally, we started to make our LLM separate. We train in our own model. We only trust our own. So if today I use ChatGPT, I only use my own account because I have taught it, I have trained it the correct way. And whatever answer output, today I still check. I still dare not. I have liability because I'm a consultant. So I'm just going to, so I will still check it. But the black box problem is one of the biggest issue. Privacy and surveillance, I won't spend so much on time. We all understand because of this is between the IoT, the 4.0 and 5.0. The difference is in the 4.0, you have a lot of sensor. The sensor just detect how many people pass by. In 4.0, you have a lot of sensor. You just check how many people have passed by this room. When people come in, the aircon will reduce to sensor. But in the AI, we start to recognize the face. how many patterns the person, how many times he dig the nose, that kind of thing. A lot of privacy and surveillance issue. What? So yes, we already have CCTV, we have a lot of sensors detecting us for many years already. What have changed is now they actually identify who are we, what we are doing. So that privacy and surveillance issue is beginning to raise informed consent issue. Have I given the consent? Yeah, so this I think I've discussed this accountability and liability issue. But the question here that we put, if it causes harm, who to blame? Is it the AI software person? So they give me a wrong answer, I go and sue OpenAI. Is it because he created this program, I use this program, I use the output, then I should go to US and sue OpenAI for giving me a wrong answer? Is it the developer's fault? Is it my employer? My employer asked me to use ChatGPT. Something wrong, you cannot, although I'm the professional engineer, but it is my company, I'm the doctor, it is my hospital that say, use this system. Then my boss is responsible, not me. Or is it me? Should I have the responsibility to check it myself? So liability issues and this lack of legality, clarity and something is one of the issue. So I think, I'm almost out of time. So I think we need to have some responsible use of AI. In view of time, I think I'll leave it here. I believe this slide can be shared with you. But as I have already put my disclaimer, we are living through the Industry 5.0. So whatever I put there may not be so accurate. It's just some of my not so well crystal ball that I try to think that these are some of the issue and this is some of the responsibility that we should adopt. Solution? No. Now, today I was very excited just now when Engineer Ho actually said, we want to promote some COP, community of practice. So right after he went, I run after, I say, Xiong Hin, who is leading this? So Xiong Hin say, no, nobody is. Why don't you do it? I said, okay, because I think it is time to call for action. It's time to call people who are using it to do it. We don't want to repeat the earlier where we just go through times and just let things develop. Right now, if users like us don't come together to do it, then we are allowing programmer and developer to decide where we go. We should be involved to say what we want, how we want to use it. It's a shared responsibility. And in the perspective of health and safety, I think we need to put our foot in, two foot in to say, and with the development of AI, we want it to have positive impact in health and safety management. We want to, as early as possible, know what will be the consequences of poorly adopted AI. So as early we can know the negative part, we can put in steps to protect. Even better, we try to solve those problems. Some advertisement. So we together the IEH and the Center of Sustainable Development under Newcastle University. I'm also a senior lecturer with the university. We are organizing a AI a symposium, just half a day. But this will be a time where you only listen to one speaker. The rest of the time we will divide into group. We will start asking each of you to discuss. Hey, how are you using AI? What are some of the ideas? So that was what that kept me running to Xiong Hin to ask, because we are thinking about getting people together. But this is not only for health and safety. We will be dividing people into 4 groups: health and safety, engineering and IT, facility management, and we have sustainability and management. So we will have facilitator and start generating. Now, this is just a half-day thing, but we hope we can get people together and start talking about it. One more advertisement for IEH. We are the IEH hosts annual conference. This year our conference is 13 and 14 of August. But I thought it's good for me to advertise not because I'm from IEH, but the topic is the same. We are this conference that we do every year is something that we want to pull together people to talk about workplace health. Safety is important, but you realize that there is no forum for focusing on workplace health. So IEH has been trying to fund this and run this for the past 3 years. This is the 4th year we are doing it. So this is a call for paper. Registration not open yet, but you can visit it. Take a look. If you are keen, watch out for that space. But I see familiar face. Some of you come to that conference. But the topic this year, yes, because I'm actually calling out for people who may actually want to share. Call for speaker. Visit us, send us the email if you feel that there is something. How you have been using AI for workplace health monitoring or workplace health improvement or whatsoever. But this conference focused on workplace health. The similar topic is compared to today was the AI part of it. Thank you for your time. We got time for questions.
We do. Thank you, Zephan. Very comprehensive. Maybe one question. One question for Zephan while he's on stage. He's a good resources with knowledge, with connection as well. In terms of AI, occupational health, industry hygiene. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you.
Zephan.